This plank flooring is in pretty rough shape. You can see the outside there. So a lot of this insulation is coming out and falling down. This is press board. It's falling off in chunks. Leak in the roof. This corner, for whatever reason, there's a pile of dirt. There's a lot of mouse pellets around here. So yeah, ceiling, walls, floors. Is there anything else? It is a long way from being a usable shop. First job is just to kind of explore. So let's do a walkthrough of this building, see what we're up against. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the mountains. If you've watched the channel before, you know that I grew up here. You will also know that I am many things, hence the name of the channel, What Would Jason Do? First and foremost, I'm primarily a vintage trailer enthusiast, and I also restore them on the side. I've restored well over a dozen of these canned ham beauties. I actually have one at the Volo Auto Museum in Chicago. It is on permanent display there. And if you've been keeping up with the channel, you'll know that I have been on the hunt for a shop. I've been doing these in my driveway. It's just very limiting. It's very restrictive. So I've been on the hunt for a shop, and that hunt brought me back up here to the mountains. And there's a whole video that shows that quest, particularly how I got to this place, and I will post a link to that so that you can watch that. But for now, I have been told that if I want to have this shop, I can, and it has a lot of history for me. It's very personal. It's full circle actually, because I used to work here in this very shop. It was a glass shop. I started working here when I was 19. I worked here about 2.5 years, I guess, and when I moved off the mountain, it's all got left behind me. But I am back and I am here. So we are going to go ahead and have a look at this building. It is a long way from being a usable shop. It is an old barn, so we are going to explore this barn shop together and kind of just take stock of what needs to be done in order to get this thing up and running. First job is just to kind of explore. So let's do a walkthrough of this building and kind of get the lay of the land, see what we're up against, and see what it's going to take to get this back to fighting shape. Let's go. And so one of the things that it's actually going to take to get into this shop is a grinder. The key has been lost to the padlock that's holding the chains on the door, so the owner is going to get a grinder and a generator, and we'll get this thing off so we can get inside. Well, obviously been abandoned for a while, and the first thing that kind of hits you is the ceiling and everything that's falling from it. But the thing that caught my eye, actually caught my foot, is the flooring. This plank flooring is in pretty rough shape. You can see the outside there, and it's dipped down quite a bit. Some of these are quite the loose tooth. You can actually stand on one end and the other end moves. And that is obviously a concern. But hey, you know, plank flooring, I can pull up the planks, see what's going on underneath, do some shoring up here of these really, really bad spots, hopefully even it out. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to be solid, something that's not going to be a hazard, either tripping or falling through. Not such a huge concern, maybe more so some of the other parts that we should look at right now. Let's head on into the other half of this shop over here, where we used to cut the glass, make the dual pane windows, and a lot of the magic happened over here. So let's go check this out. So a lot of this insulation is coming out and falling down, but a good chunk of it's not on its own. There's a lot of mouse pellets around here. We've got that to deal with as well. A little drywall on the ground here, Looks like leak in the roof has caused that to happen. We probably have a couple of those, it looks like, over here. So that's something to consider and deal with. So yeah, being an old barn, basically converted into a shop, there's a lot of things going on here. You can actually see outside in several points here. I don't know how structural I'm gonna get with my repairs. I might just get a little chicken wiry with it just to kind of keep critters out as best I can. Not really sure what to think about with some of this drywall, if I should just keep it or if I should just remove it all and just expose the wood slats. The owner said they'll work with me as far as, you know, patching the roof, which is cool. I would like that. I would like some help. This is the main, I guess, part of the shop. You can see that the floor sort of dives off on that side, but all in all, it is very solid. I have no problem with the bit of a slant on the floor at all. This is press board on the walls here. I might have a problem with that. It's falling off in chunks anyway, so I might just finish the job and expose the wood, the corrugated, and then maybe put some actual solid wood on the inside. All right, well, a lot of obvious issues that are gonna need to be dealt with, but great bones, great memories, and I'm always up for a challenge. There is no electricity to the building right now. It's coming in about a day or so. So kind of in order to better see what's going on in this section of the building, let's go ahead and bust these double doors open and shed a little light on the subject. Well, it appears this second door's been nailed shut. It's made stationary. It still has the hinges on it. So it still can open, but we'll just wait on that. There's plenty of room to get in and out and plenty of light, so we can see what's going on here. And oh yes, starting with the pressboard walls that have a lot of water damage to them. This window's obviously a leaker. And again, I might just need to take all of this out. The roof has several spots in it. Obviously there's some leaking going on. Not a big deal there, we can fix that. This corner, for whatever reason, there's a pile of dirt, and that's obviously very soft here now. But curious, wondering where that all came from. These beams across here, these are not structural. I believe there was something that was strung across these, which was over the main table that used to be right here. So these actually will come out of here and probably get used for shoring up the floor, because free lumber and I'll take any help I can get. So yeah, ceiling, walls, floors. Is there anything else? No, there's not. Everything needs work, and let us not forget the incredible amount of mouse poop that is going to need to be cleaned up throughout this entire shop. And of course, trying to keep the little critters out of here to keep from doing more of their dirty business all over this place. Of course, there are some other good things here because we're trying to bright side the out of this little situation. There are these cabinets that are here that will come in handy. Some shelving that needs to be shored up, but there is that. There are also a lot of resources outside of this building that I believe I'm going to be able to utilize, one of which let's go and have a look at right now. So right up here around this corner are some metal cabinets with drawers in them. You know, these are a little bit frozen up as far as the locks, but some of the drawers still open up, and they are good, nice, deep drawers. I'll talk to them about that, whether they're gonna use them which it looks like they're not. I think these could make a really welcome addition and a useful addition to the shop. It doesn't look like they're being used now, so I'll ask to see if I may use them. And like I said, that would be probably a really welcome addition to the shop. I've got a lot of little parts, a lot of things that need to be stored, so that would help. So in addition to those drawers, there are also some racks right on the side of the building that I'm going to make use of for sure. So this rack in particular is going to be really useful because I use a lot of small wood to reframe these trailers, 1x2s. Not only are those going to fit on this rack, it's a very long rack, but also I can use the plastic that's here to sort of use it as a shield against weather. So I can slide the pieces of wood right into all of these tubes and squares and just keep them out of the rain, out of the snow, and I think that's a really good thing. Again, bright side. And speaking of small pieces of wood, there is a rack right here, spaced out so you could slide glass, mirror, anything you want in here, and it would just hold it upright. These right here are 1x2, and this is exactly what I use in some of the framing, some of the cabinetry. So I'm going to unscrew all of these pieces of wood. We'll use them without a doubt. And then I will also have this little area as sort of a bin, and I think I'm going to close that off. Probably use it as sort of a lockable tool crib. I'm going to have locks on the doors, things like that, but I think I might just feel better as far as keeping maybe not people out, but animals that may still be able to get in here. Keep them away from the tools and other materials that are maybe a little more sensitive. So again, using bits of the structure that are already here to my advantage. Bright side. And next to that little tool crib area, there is this really nice table. The owner did say it used to be their dining table, that they wasn't going back into the house. That was made very clear. So if it stays here, that would make one heck of a good work table. And found some more glass racks, which might prove helpful. Looks like this one actually came off one of the old trucks. Well, I made my way out to the back side of the shop. There's those racks that I'm going to use for the wood. And you can see on top of the roof. And it is still pretty flat. There's a bow in the middle of it, but it's not anything that would hold water. So I think that it can be patched. So that makes me feel a lot better about the roof leaks. Everything's flat and just probably needs some tar, patch, whatever. Pretty easy. Well, there you have it. First look at what will eventually be a shop. For now, it's a huge project, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited that this building is a big part of my past and now part of my present again and future as well. I hope that you'll come along on the journey as we get this old shack fixed up and usable. Like I said, it's going to be a work in progress. Looking forward to what this can all be. I'm looking forward to you coming along with me. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, check out some of the old trailer videos, get ready for some new ones. All right, let's get this place buttoned up. I'll see you real soon when we start working on this shack and get her up to speed. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos, and I'm glad you're here.